Ultimately, to the extent you're going to have something in writing about remote work specifically, I think it's more about business expectations than legal compliance. But of course, the legal responsibilities should be addressed. We talked about the electronic monitoring. Most companies are trying to do something to ensure they can figure out whether someone is actually working or not, whether you can actually install a camera in your employee's home office to physically look at them throughout the day. Is a different question. If you really want to do that, there's some considerations, but more often it's looking at their computer usage in some way, shape, or form. So do have that employee monitoring policy in place if you're going to do anything like that. You're also, of course, trying to prepare against liability. You may want to, as clearly as possible, specify when someone is working and when they're not. This also goes into the timekeeping issues. Presumably, you either have a mechanism to track time worked or the employee has to self-report it in some way, shape, or form. And, ultimately, however, non-exempt employees have to be paid for the time worked, whether they were supposed to be working or not. So you need to make sure you are monitoring that to the extent possible and preventing abuse, both to avoid underpayment and overpayments. So with all of that said, again, there's no one size fits all remote work policy, but you want to figure out how you're going to ensure both that your legal responsibilities are being met, and that might be just through your other policies and making sure you give them to employees who are working remotely and remind them how they apply to them, or specifically spelling it out for remote employees, as well as working out how you're going to ensure they're being productive and performing their job satisfactorily as if they were on site. And you may be able to put guidelines in place as well, so you have something to refer back to if you believe the employee is not living up to the expectations.